So we went out to an interesting town hall last night.
That's what he was telling me.
Did you ever get your roof?
YouTubers.
YouTube?
That metal roof you
No.
Come to order. Today's meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order on February 26, 2025. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the pledge of the allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Agendas of today's meeting are on the wall at the entrance to chambers. Please remember to turn off your cell phones. The Municipal Code Enforcement Board consists of 7 members who are appointed by the City Council. We serve voluntarily. It is this board's intention to promote, protect, and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Clearwater by providing this equitable, effective, and inexpensive method of enforcing certain codes within the city. The board considers new business in 2 parts. First, the violation, and then affirmative relief. Formal rules of evidence do not apply. Each side is limited to 15 minutes. The board may grant additional time. All proceedings will be conducted in a calm, civil manner. Individuals who conduct themselves otherwise will be asked to leave. If necessary, they will be escorted from chambers. Now I ask all who plan to speak be rise and sworn in by our clerk. Our first order of business is going to be to review and approve the minutes of January code for sign maintenance and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? No? All right. Inspector Burgett, you have this floor.
Good afternoon, Board. Hope everyone is doing well. This is case 8-25 at 1880 North Belcher Road. I'm Stephen Burkert, sign inspector for the City of Clearwater. Give me 1 second. I just leave it. Is everyone see it? Okay. So there's one violation for code section 3-1502I for sign maintenance. The notice of violation was sent September 9 of 2024. Compliance date was October 10th, 24, and certified mail received on September 19, 24. Section 3-1502I, sign maintenance, requires that all signs in the City of Clearwater shall be maintained in good condition in the form in which the signs were originally approved, free of mildew, rust, loose material, including peeling or fading paint or materials. Any loose, broken, peeling, or faded parts of the sign shall be promptly repaired, repainted, or replaced. So on August 6th of last year, I noticed that a freestanding sign at the property was in need of maintenance. You see the face panel shows peeling lettering, and the structure has mildew and is damaged. So I talked with the manager from Walgreens. Asked them to repair that. It was just a verbal information. There was no notice of violation sent out. So I came back a month later, and there was no improvement, and I spoke with them again. And also, while I was on the property, noticed the 2 other freestanding signs in the property are in need of maintenance. The sign structures show rust and peeling paint, and have also mildew on there, but the face panels itself are not damaged. It's just the sign structures need to be painted. I sent out a notice of violation to the property owner, and came back on October 14th, 24, so 4 days after the compliance date, and there was still no improvement. And since everyone was dealing with hurricane damage at this point, I gave them more time to deal with it. Also, there was a lack of sign contractors who could deal with a situation in a timely manner. So I came back on January 8th of this year, and still no improvement. The sign still is rusty, even more rusty than before. The small sign still had no repaired face panel, and the store manager from Walgreens showed me the work order for that, and indeed, the work order went out on August 7 of 24. So he reported that damage to corporation, and it's not been addressed, so that's why I moved it to code board. And as of February 24, so a couple of days ago, all the sign structures were painted with a brown paint, and there was no rust anymore, but the face panel of the sign is still in need of re-lettering, or they can also alternatively have a blank face panel, just remove the old lettering so it looks nice. And they said they don't know yet when someone will come out. They have no control over it. So you see the rest of the signs are now in compliance. They're all painted, and there's no damages or rust visible. It's just the one freestanding sign that's in need of maintenance. Compliance for the sign maintenance can be met by removing all peeling paint and rust from the sign structure and paint so that is in good condition, free of any damage, rust, discoloration, fading, and or peeling paint elements. Remove the peeling lettering from the face panels, and that's still what needs to be done as of today. Recommendation for case 8-25 is for one violation, request compliance on or before March 26, 25, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violation continued to exist. Okay, any questions?
Did you, you expressed to them that they could just tear the sign off and it could just be blank?
Yeah.
And they still
Yeah.
didn't do anything about that? Board, do you have any questions for Inspector
No.
Berger?
Is the owner Walgreens?
The property owner is not Walgreens. That's
But they've been served, notice.
Yes, the property owner's been served, and they informed Walgreens. But I kept both informed, basically, But I'm dealing personally, I've never had any contact with the property owner. It was always through Walgreens.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before March 26, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, a board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. The fines fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, now to 5.1 on our agenda, old business items. These are to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed for agenda item 5.1.1, 5.1.2, 5.1.3, 5.1.4, 5.1.5, 5.1.6, and 5.1.7. Can I get a motion for that?
I move to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, our next up is agenda item 5.2, continued from January 22nd, 2025, case 03-24, accept the affidavit of noncompliance for residents Patricia DePriest at 1631 Tuscola Road for exterior surfaces. Inspector Jensen, is there anything that you would like to add to this?
No, Board, there's nothing additional. It's Inspector Jensen with City of Clearwater Co-Compliance. The property just continues to deteriorate more and more. The eaves troughs are falling down, hanging from the building onto the ground. The actual shingling of the house is maybe 25% there, the rest of it was just bare wood sheathing, so. I haven't had any contact with the owner. Talked to a neighbor, they've not seen her in quite some time either. So, and my last contact with the owner is when I was here last time with the board when they gave the decision, and she doesn't have any way to take care of the property. We were trying to get her moved through maybe some city grant stuff, which she just would not take part in, so we're really at a point the property is just gonna continue to deteriorate, so.
No contact at all?
No.
No phone calls or letters?
No, every so often, if I post the property or something, I may get a phone call, I may not. I've tried calling her phone a couple times and gotten nothing again, so.
She never came before us, did she?
Quite a while ago. We've had several complaints on the property. Inspector Gasman had many complaints on it before that, and inspectors before us. So I know she was here in the time that I've had that area. But yeah, really, she just doesn't have the physical or, monetary ability to take care of the property at this point, so.
Board, do we have any other questions for Inspector Jensen?
I just want to make one more. Then there's no way to tell if she even lives here in town or anything?
No, the living conditions are, she's not sleeping inside the residence.
No, I don't mean there. Somewhere else in Clearwater.
I have no idea, no. When I did talk to her, not to get too personal with her information, but she's always having some serious health problems. Neighbors said the same thing, so. And when I was talking to her, she has been in and out of the hospital, different things, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really hard to tell at this point.
All right. Any other questions, Board?
I move to accept the affidavit of noncompliance and issue an order that imposes fines and states that if fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Thank you.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, next on our agenda, 5.3 has been withdrawn. 5.4 on our agenda, case 86-24, accept the affidavit of noncompliance for respondents Robert Cox at 1204 Clare Drive for exterior surfaces, abandoned building, and roof maintenance. Is there anyone here to speak on that? All right, Inspector Dixon, you have the floor.
Inspector Dixon, Code Compliance Office, there's no change at the property. The roof's still caved in, the property's got exterior surface damage. Somebody did reboard up a busted out window up front, I'm not sure why, but.
Any contact at all
No.
with the owners? No. All right, Board, do you have any questions for Inspector Dixon?
I move to accept an affidavit of noncompliance and issue an order that imposes fines and states if fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to other board action. We are here to consider case number 221-19, consider request by petitioners Zante of Palm Harbor LLC at 1808 Drew Street to reduce the fine, RE business tax receipt, and if approved, issue an order that specifies a fine that includes administrative costs and establishes a date payable, or the lien will revert to its original amount. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? Yes, please. Approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. Anthony Damanakis, Peacock, Gaffney, and Damanakis, for the petitioner, and my client, Mr. Kappas, is here.
Can you speak up?
Say your name.
Well, my name is Dennis Kappas.
Your address, sir?
I'm sorry,
Your address.
Address?
491 Riverside Drive, Tarpon Springs.
All right. Okay, what do you want to tell us about this, sir?
Thank you for your time. By way of background, my client was the owner of 1808 Drew. The tenant that is in question was a coffee shop. My client was the landlord, and he required of each and every tenant in his lease that you have to comply with occupational licenses and all local regulations. Unbeknownst to him, this coffee shop failed to get a business tax license. When the violations started coming, he did not disclose it to my client. We discovered it by litter on the premises, and upon closer examination, for some reason, through no fault, I guess, of the city either, they relied on faulty information from the state. There was a typographical error as to the address. The state had 791 Riverside Drive. My client's address is and always has been 491. That's his home. And he operates his business from the address of the LLC is his home. So the state was sending these notices. My client had no idea of the violations. So respectfully, for due process reasons, we would ask the board to consider this fine being reduced. We understand that we apologize for the inconvenience of the staff having to go through the whatever administrative process they went through. But as a matter of fairness, that coffee shop, by the way, left. They sold, and the new tenant, of course, complied with the business tax requirements. So the matter was, in fact, cured through time. This did not involve health or safety affecting the residents of the Clearwater, and it's simply an unfortunate error due to the Division of Corporations website error.
Okay. All right. Do we have an administrative cost on this?
The total amount is $1,187.20.
$1,187.20?
Yes.
Board, do you have any questions for Mr. Dante?
Is it Mr. Dixon, is he going to speak? Then we'll have some questions.
Inspector Dixon.
Our inspector?
No, I'm sorry.
No. He's not
Okay.
listed.
This is strictly for a business tax receipt violation? Is that correct?
Yes, and what I understand, the previous business that is no longer in the.
Well, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that, just to clarify, I don't know if we need to check with council. That typically is on the, even if it's a rented space, that business tax receipt is for that specific business, regardless of whether they own the building or they're leasing the building. It's the duty of that business owner, tenant, or whoever to obtain that business tax receipt.
Yes.
Am I correct in that?
I believe you are, yes.
Okay, good. So, all right.
It's probably always a good idea for the owner of the property also to check with his businesses that he is renting from him to make sure that they are in compliance with that,
Yeah.
you know. But yes, you are correct.
And posted. It should be posted as well.
That's correct. That is correct. It should be. Okay. All right.
Is there any other questions you guys have? I mean, I have no problems at all bringing it down to the administrative costs.
Nor do I.
Me either. That's
This
fine.
poor guy didn't, it's not.
What do you think, Mr. Plum? You okay?
Okay.
You okay? You in
I
agreement
move
with
to
that?
enter an order.
Next time, make it 4, a little bit better.
It's been.
I move to enter order reducing the amount of the administrative cost of $1,187.20 payable within 30, 60? The call?
Oh, it's typically 30 days.
Within 30 days, or the lien will revert to its original amount.
That would be great. And where would you like us to send it?
Nicole?
Yeah, I will be,
I'll communicate with you.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll send you an email with the information, but an order will also be created and mailed out.
Thank you.
Can I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
All right, next on our lien reduction is case number 125-23. Consider request by petitioners Oakmont Reserve Properties LLC at 3010 Oakmont Drive to reduce the fine for RE lot clearing and public health, safety, and welfare nuisance, and if approved, issue an order that specifies a fine that includes administrative costs and establishes a date payable, or the lien will revert to its original amount. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Will you come forward to the podium, sir, and state your name and address for the record, please?
Hello, my name is David Covert. Do you want my personal address or a business address? Doesn't matter.
Address, whatever.
Okay, 7686 Fishel Drive, Dublin, Ohio, 43016.
All right. So what's going on with this property, sir?
Well, it was a property that we had rented out, and the tenant during COVID stopped paying rent. We finally were able to evict them. We started remodeling the inside of the house because they had torn it up. And the lady that we had as an employee that was taking care of it. Got the inside finished up, and then she moved on to a new job. In the meantime, she had a pool contractor and a landscaper maintaining the property. We were still getting charged. Didn't know any of this existed till August 14th is when we were made aware that there was a problem, because we were trying to do a refinance and the lien showed up. So then I started digging into it, got in contact with the inspector that was assigned at the time, met her within a couple days, flew down here, met her within a couple days, and had it taken care of by the end of October. She had signed everything off and it was done. So what we're asking for is a reduction in all those fines, and I'm going to go up to August 14th. That's when we were aware. I'd like to just get those fines removed prior to that.
And the property is in foreclosure?
It currently is. It's being addressed, but part of the thing, one of the things that's holding it up is the refinance, which is being held up by this lien, and we want to get this lien paid so we can get it refinanced and get it all done. I have a new pool guy taking care of the pools. I have a new landscaping guy. I have new cameras on it so I can see it from Ohio. Try to get down here every 2 to 3 weeks, but I do have a home inspection service that inspects the house every 2 weeks now. They're walking through the entire property, outside, inside, sends me pictures of anything that's out of the ordinary. We're trying to keep it in order.
What's your calculation on the amount that you want?
It was a pure guess. When I talked with Shelby, she kind of indicated the administrative cost she thought would be somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000. And when she told me to fill this out a couple months after it was cleared up, and to just kind of make a stab at what the administrative cost might be.
Gotcha.
The administrative costs are $2,747.20.
And everything is right the way it's supposed to be and has been?
They came out and looked at it yesterday. The lagoon and the river and the waterfall area are currently being drained, so the pool systems got shut off about a week ago, and they've been drained down. The rain filled them back up, so they were kind of muddy and groggy when she was there, but they are being drained and cleaned and crack sealed and repainted currently.
And your Dublin address is on the county record?
That is the one that's on the county record, yeah.
But you never received a notice to Dublin?
No. We were in that office. We own a couple companies up there, and our business was in there, and we had moved into a new office space to give them that bigger building, and it they did not know what Oakmont was. They know who we are, but they didn't know what Oakmont was, and it never got moved to us.
My question
now know.
is the pool protected from anyone wandering
Yes,
into the pool?
there were a couple openings in the fence. I got those sealed up. Got the gates all locked now, cameras on all the pools.
So no child or whomever can wander and fall in there, okay?
And when we cleaned up all the vegetation, there's bamboo on the outside of our property that was growing into the walkway right there that goes to the school. And Shelby asked me if I could get it down. She's like, I know it's not your responsibility, but if you have somebody here doing stuff, can they do it? And they did. They got it cut down and cleaned out that walkway so the kids can get to the school now. It was apparently growing all the way through it, and they had to like duck under.
So the house is close to a school?
It's directly across the street from us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's important then,
Yeah.
very important.
My question is, I'm sorry, you done?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My question is, if the fines have been going on for some time, how is it that you weren't getting the notices?
I cannot explain it, other than the person that gets the mail at that business wasn't forwarding things for Oakmont to us because they didn't know it was a property of ours. That's the only.
No emails or anything?
The first email we got was from our attorney, dealing with their attorney we have down here, dealing with the refinance.
Yeah.
That he found a lien, and then we started digging into it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think I just ended up calling your department and found out who the inspector was. Called her and set up a time to meet her within 5 or 6 days I got down here.
Yeah, you live in Ohio, so
Yeah.
it's hard for you to stay on top of it all the time.
Right, which is why this
Yeah.
time we hired someone to inspect it every 2 weeks.
Mr. Chair, I'll just say that it's my understanding that the staff has certified this is in compliance at some point, that may no longer be the case, but I'm not sure that it's necessarily relevant today, other than just to notify them while they're here that if the city does go back and open up a new case, it would be eligible for repeat violation, which would allow the city to seek fines from the date of the new notice of violation and would allow an elevated fine amount. So currently, I don't believe that's been done yet, although there may be some issues out there in the current, at the property currently. Yes. But for what's pending in front of you, the city did certify it as in compliance, and at some point, I don't know if we have that date in the.
It was
record.
tail end of October.
I have a question about that. It would be that if the sequence here is that we assess, we decide what the fine is, and the owner pays the fine, and then the sale goes through, then whoever's purchasing the property is going to have to deal with whatever else.
We're still going to own it. We're not selling it. We're just refinancing.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
It will still be us.
You understand what
Yeah.
Mr. Simpson said?
Yeah, and when it just
There will be a repeat
circumstances had the pool drained down and the stuff not running for 3 days prior to today, the guy didn't know I needed it to stay the way it was. I didn't think he was draining it quite yet. I thought he still had a couple weeks. But he started draining it down, so once he got it drained down, he had to shut off the pool equipment. It's got chemicals in it, and the water is still, you can call it safe. It's muddy, but it's not toxic. And he had it drained down and dry, and he was scraping things to the outside, and then that rain that came through a couple days ago kind of just washed it all back to the middle.
Was this a rental property?
No, we had bought it in foreclosure, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, and we used it as a vacation house for a while, and now we're getting it prepared for, we own a couple of mechanical contract companies across the country, and we have quarterly executive meetings. Right now, we all fly somewhere and stay in hotels, and we're gonna use that for this, plus the 8 or 9 of us that are part of the company use it for vacation as well.
No Airbnb-ing.
Nope, we did once, we don't do it no more. Learned our lesson there.
Board, do you have any other questions? Ms.
I just
Mulder?
wanted, Rebecca, code manager for the city of Clearwater, just wanted to clarify on what Mr. Simpson had said, that on October 26th, there was an affidavit of compliance that was filed and approved by the board. So it was found in compliance by Ms. Brown. The inspector of the zone now, Vicki Suddeth, did go out, meet the property owner at the site and walk it. And Mr. Simpson did allude to the fact that in its current state, we wouldn't still find it in compliance. So there could be, there would need to be follow-up inspections to make sure that the lazy river that flows through the back of the property was still muddy, and there was some vegetation in certain parts of it connecting to the water based on the photos that were submitted to me. So we would just be looking for that to be corrected to prevent a repeat violation, which would shorten the time frame and increase fines for you. But it was complied previously and signed off by the board on October 26th.
I do remember this property now that you talked about, the lazy river at keyed something. I do remember it, and yeah, it was in pretty bad shape at the time that it came before us the first time. Board, do you have any other questions? I mean, I see no problem in
Nope.
knocking it down to the 27, 47, 20.
I would agree.
Everybody, are you in agreement with that? Yeah?
I move to enter an order reducing the amount of the lien to the administrative cost of $2,747.20 payable within 30 days, or the lien will revert to its original amount.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion approved. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now let's move on to our nuisance abatement lien filings. 7.1 on our agenda, case 17-25. Accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Lemuel Smith at 1344 Park Wood Street for lot clearing and inoperable vehicle, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if the compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? No? Inspector Dixon, you have the floor.
Okay.
Afternoon, Board. Inspector Dixon, Co-Compliance Inspector. Case 17-25 for 1344 Parkwood Street. There's 2 violations at this property for inoperable vehicles and accumulation of debris. It's posted in the beginning of January with a compliance date 10 days after. The mail came back unclaimed. Here's the property the day of posting, the gray vehicle and the black vehicle. One has no tag, one has a tag that expired in 2019. Computers. Sorry, the computer's not cooperating.
This has been brought before us beforehand.
No, I haven't brought this property. Back in the back of the driveway, there's a lot of appliances being accumulated and other scrap and debris. This is about a month later. The vehicles are still in the same condition. It's a little hard to see, but all the scrap is still back there in front of that truck. As of this week, or as of today, the cars are still in the same position, but they've started to clean out all the debris. There is a little bit more to do. Back behind that fence, it's kind of hard to see, but there is still a little bit of debris. So compliance we met for the inoperable vehicles by removing the inoperable vehicles from the property or display a current registration sticker, inflate the tires, and make the vehicles roadworthy. Compliance we met for accumulation of debris by removing all scrap, appliances, trash, and debris from the property. And for this case, I'm requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order. If they get it done in the next 5 days, then, I'll just close the case out, and I won't need to use the order, but if it doesn't.
Board, do you have any questions for Inspector Dixon?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable costs which would become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, next is 7.2 on our agenda, case 18-25, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondent's New Step LLC Trey at 929 Bruce Avenue for lot clearing, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Catherine, you have the floor.
Hold on, it's warming up. There we go.
Everything's running a little slow.
Daniel Casman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is for 929 Bruce Avenue. It's a nuisance abatement, case number 18-25. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-1503, B7, B5A, B8, B10 for overgrown accumulation of nuisances, overgrown right-of-way, and abutted right-of-way.
Patience.
You have to jump up and down 3 times and spin.
I guess my... All right. These are the dates the notice of violation went out. This came as a complaint from one of the neighbors regarding the property. This is 1929 Bruce on the 12th of this month. It doesn't, from what they told me, it doesn't look like they cleaned it up since the storm. There's some large, you can see in the next photos, what appears to be maybe somebody's dock pylon ended up in the driveway.
Wow.
I'm going to assume it's probably been there since October. I did get in touch with the owner, and they said to me that they do not have the money to clean the place up, so they just can't do it. So I explained to them what our process was and how it would go, and then they would end up becoming a lien on the property, and they said they were going to take care of it, but then it turns out they didn't go ahead and take care of it. So this is the date of my posting on the 14th. Property was in the same shape. And then today, this morning, it's in the same exact condition.
That's rough.
Yeah, it does.
Did they live there?
I don't believe anybody lives there, no. It's under an LLC, never been homesteaded. I believe it was a rental before. The person also explained that they own several properties in the state, so.
Did this property flood?
I'm gonna guess probably yes.
Yeah, by looking at this, and I don't know how else those pilings would have gotten there, other than floodborne.
I don't believe I saw any permits on the property, so I don't think they've mitigated it. Well, there you go. You probably see the water line there in the door.
Yeah. Can see it under the
That whole,
19.
I know the area, that whole area was flooded that high.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty, it's a good bit of flooding.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of interior.
so for compliance, we had for lot clearing by mowing the lawn, edging the curb and sidewalk, remove all the dead plants, or remove all trash and debris. And I'm requesting compliance on it before 5 days from the date the board renders its order.
Board, do we have any questions for Inspector Casman on this one?
No, sir.
Can I just add, you didn't go inside, right?
No.
Because just want to put that for the record, I mean, because obviously when flood water goes inside, there could be some substantial issues in there, and he didn't go inside. This case isn't about that. There could be problems if we identify those later, we may
Work on those later.
come back with that, but that's not part of this, and
Yeah.
just want to put that on the record.
Probably a lot of mold inside.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violation within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance, and charge the respondent with reasonable costs which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. 7.3 on our agenda has been withdrawn. 7.4, case number 20-25, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents DHDD LLC at 131 Devon Drive for lot clearing and issuance order with a compliance deadline, and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Casman, you have the floor.
Hello again, board. Daniel Caskin, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is for 131 Devon Drive. For case number 20-25, it's a nuisance abatement. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-1503B5A for accumulation of nuisances. These are the dates the notice of violation was sent out, the affidavit posting. This one, too, came as a complaint on Devon Drive by a local neighbor. This probably might look a little bit familiar. This is at 131 Devon Drive. They just recently did a home demolition here. But as you can see, some of the silt fence has fallen down and there's some debris left from demolition. I had spoken with the owner, and he said he would be talking to the demolition company and taking care of the issues. But in the meantime, since then, it's been about 2 weeks since I did my posting on the 6th, and the property was in the same exact state with that same pile of plywood and the silt fence falling over on the property. I went back on 14th at the compliance date. It was still the same situation. Nothing had been done. Just the silt fence just keeps deteriorating a little bit more with every visit. And then this was this morning at the property. Give me a second. So compliance met for the lot clearing by removing all debris and restoring/reinstalling the silt fence to come into compliance.
Pretty simple for him to do.
And requesting compliance on or before 5 days from the date the board renders its order.
Board, do you have any questions for Inspector Casman on this
I
one?
saw it today, actually.
I was going to say, stand by you.
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance, and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Board, if there's nothing else that we want to discuss, I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, sir.